Today, the quarterback battle actually isn't over. Some would say, not only is it not over, the person who you said was going to lose the battle is actually now in first place. He is now low-key in first place.
It is a competition. There's only
100%.
one guy that's going to play. They're not going to do a two-quarterback offense in Cleveland. One guy plays. One guy wins the job. And I said yesterday that I think that Shedeur Sanders fell behind early, and my own speculation is that Todd Monken had a heart-to-heart with him about what he needs to do. And he's doing it, and he's gaining ground, and he's got a chance now.
Everybody thought this was supposed to be simple. Watson would come back, show he was healthy and polished, and the quarterback battle would end before it got dangerous. That was the expectation. Watson had the contract, the resume, and the veteran advantage, so the easy prediction was that once minicamp wrapped up, Cleveland would have its answer. That is not what happened. Instead of Watson shutting the door, Shedeur Sanders kept it open, and now the Browns are sitting in the exact situation some people insisted would never happen. It was supposed to be Watson's moment to remind everyone why Cleveland invested so much in him. But after OTAs and minicamp, the battle is still alive. Not only alive, but Shedeur has done enough to force this thing into training camp. That is a problem for anyone who thought the competition would be finished in shorts and helmets. Here's the part nobody is talking about. Football does not settle serious quarterback competitions in spring practices with no pads and no live hits. The real decision was always going to come later. The problem is a lot of people built their takes around Watson ending this early, and now that Shedeur refused to go away, those same people have to explain why the door is still wide open. In Cleveland, that is not just a football story. That is a franchise-defining moment.
And one of the things that we talked about so prevalent was in the beginning of minicamp, everybody said Deshaun Watson had the job sold up.
Watson has been in NFL games. He has seen pressure. On paper, he should have had the clearest path to the job, but the Browns never closed the door on Shedeur. They kept saying both quarterbacks had done enough to keep going. If Watson had clearly dominated, this would be over. If Shedeur had looked overwhelmed, this would be over. But that is not what happened. Sometimes the young guy does not need a knockout punch. Sometimes he just needs to survive the first wave. Shedeur entered this with people questioning everything. His draft stock, his processing, his personality. But after spring work, he is still here, still in the conversation. He did not have to win the job in June. He just had to make sure Watson did not win it either. And that is exactly what he did.
If they were just saying, oh, Shedeur's accurate and he's working hard, that's not what they're saying. They're saying he's accurate, he's working hard, and we're seeing the fruits of the labor. We're seeing him turn a quarterback competition that I'm almost certain at this point, they're all saying it without saying it. Todd Monken, Andrew Berry, everybody thought, hey, Deshaun Watson, the quarterback.
Watson still has the veteran advantage. He has been in NFL pockets. He has seen defenses disguise looks. Once the game gets physical, his experience should show. That is why some people believe Watson will separate when the pads come on. But that argument reveals something important. If Watson needed the pads to separate from Shedeur, the competition was never as one-sided as people claimed. The goalpost already moved from minicamp to training camp. That tells you Shedeur extended this battle. The prediction was early separation. The reality is continued competition. Watson is not just trying to win a quarterback battle. He is trying to justify one of the biggest moves in Browns history. The contract, the trade, the expectations, all of it follows him everywhere. If he plays well, Cleveland can say there is still a path forward. If he struggles again, the entire Watson era becomes even harder to defend. And in Cleveland, that is not just a football story. That is a franchise-defining moment.
And I told y'all from the beginning, if Shedeur wins, he's not just beating Deshaun Watson, because it doesn't matter if he's just better than Deshaun Watson. No, Shedeur has to be, he's got to beat Deshaun Watson.
Shedeur was not supposed to make this messy. He was supposed to sit and learn. But the moment he shows enough progress, everything changes. What if the future is already in the building? What if the competition is not over because Shedeur is forcing the staff to keep looking? He did not create drama. He did not say he was coming for Watson. He talked about improving every day, exactly what a young quarterback is supposed to say. But even that got picked apart. If he is confident, they call him arrogant. If he is humble, they say he is not competitive enough. There is no winning with certain people. Here's the part nobody is talking about. Shedeur is not only competing against Watson, he's competing against the reaction to him. Every rep becomes evidence for someone's argument, and yet he never gave the media the mistake they were waiting for. He kept it professional. He did not make the room look toxic. In Cleveland, that alone is more impressive than people want to admit.
He's had a really strong spring, and Shedeur, he's made incredible strides over the last 8 weeks. Really, really pleased with his progress. He's naturally accurate as a quarterback. His command of the operation, control of the huddle, all of those things, you can tell that with a year under his belt, he's making big strides. So we are looking forward to seeing how the competition plays out throughout training camp and the preseason games.
Watson did not act threatened when asked about Shedeur. He spoke about wanting both quarterbacks to put the best product on the field. People wanted tension. They wanted a crack in the room. Neither gave them that. So the conversation has to come back to football. This competition cannot be decided by headlines. It has to be decided by reps, command, and how each quarterback handles real pressure. Spring shows who knows the playbook. Training camp shows who can survive the uncomfortable parts. Shedeur has already changed the timeline. People expected Watson to end this early. Instead, the Browns are still talking about both guys. That does not mean Shedeur is ahead, but it means he made the competition serious enough that Cleveland cannot dismiss him. The first step for a young quarterback is staying relevant. The second step is making coaches uncomfortable. Shedeur has already cleared both. Training camp is where he goes for the job.
In terms of quarterback, it's been good competition this spring between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. It's good to see Deshaun healthy, moving around, learning this new system. He's had a really strong spring, and Shedeur, he's made incredible strides.
If Shedeur gets to training camp with that opportunity, everything becomes possible. If Watson looks hesitant or inconsistent, the pressure builds fast. And if Shedeur keeps showing command and confidence, the Browns face a decision much harder than anyone expected. Gabriel adds another layer too. Early in the process, some try to make him the bigger story, but the battle people keep talking about is Watson and Shedeur. That shift tells you everything about where the real competition lives. Here's the part nobody is talking about. Cleveland has been stuck in quarterback chaos for years. Same question every single time. Who is the guy? Watson was supposed to end that. His arrival was supposed to give Cleveland a long-term answer. Instead, injuries and performance questions kept the door open. And now, Shedeur Sanders, a rookie with a famous last name and a chip on his shoulder, has walked into that opening and made the entire room more interesting than anybody expected. In Cleveland, that is not just a quarterback story. That is the story that defines what this franchise becomes next.
I think he's had an excellent spring, Anthony. I mean, the past 8 to 10 weeks, and really probably beyond that, really the past 6 months with, as a rookie player and particularly a quarterback, you learn a lot your first year, and especially if you don't start a full season, start 6, 7, or I guess you start 7 games.
For Watson, this is about saving the present. He cannot just be decent, he has to give the Browns a reason to believe again. For Shedeur, this is about proving he belongs in a conversation many people never wanted him in. There is no easy path. Name Watson too quickly, and fans wonder if money drove the decision. Wait too long, and the competition becomes a distraction. The Browns wanted clarity. Instead, they got competition. Everybody expected Watson to end this battle. Shedeur extended it. Now the Browns have to let the football decide. Not the contract, not the headlines, not the last name, the football. Because if they choose wrong, this will not just be another quarterback competition. It will be another chapter in the Browns' long history of missing the answer when it was right in front of them.